Sometimes life throws you into moments you never saw coming, moments that look messy, confusing, even a little embarrassing. But sometimes, those very moments open doors you didn't even know existed. This story begins with a millionaire woman standing in the middle of a crowded rodeo arena, dust swirling around her boots, her heart pounding harder than the horses running past her. And beside her stood a cowboy she had met only 10 minutes earlier. She looked at him with wide, desperate eyes and whispered the wildest request he'd ever heard in his life: "Pretend to love me. My ex-fiancé is here." But this wasn't a joke. She wasn't trying to get attention. She was trying not to fall apart. Before we begin, if you love emotional, heartfelt stories, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment on the Kindness Journey channel. Your support helps us bring more stories that touch the heart and remind us how powerful kindness can be. The story begins with Alana Pierce, a 32-year-old tech millionaire who had built everything in her life through hard work. But the one thing she couldn't build was trust. Her ex-fiancé had left her shattered months ago, walking out just before their wedding day and calling her too much for wanting real loyalty. She flew to a small-town rodeo that weekend not because she belonged there, but because she wanted to hide from the world for a while. But the world didn't hide from her. Her ex-fiancé showed up with a new fiancé, laughing, showing off, acting like he had traded up. Alana's chest tightened. She didn't want to look bothered. She didn't want to look wounded. She just wanted to breathe. That's when she bumped into him, Cal Walker, a 30-year-old cowboy with a weathered hat, suntan on his cheeks, and kind eyes that made her pause for a second longer than she meant to. He grabbed her arm gently to steady her. "You okay, ma'am?" he asked. She wasn't. But she nodded anyway. Then, as her ex spotted her, everything in her went cold. The tears threatened. The panic rose. And before she could stop herself, she blurted out a request she never imagined she'd say to a stranger. "Can you help me? Just pretend to love me. For a moment." Cal blinked. "Pretend to love you?" "Yes. My ex is here. I don't want him to see me hurting." Cal looked at her for a long moment, not judging her, not questioning her, just understanding her. He had the kind of gentleness that came from having lived through his own pain. "Well," he finally said with a soft smile, "I reckon I can help with that." And just like that, Cal placed his arm around her shoulders. His touch wasn't showy or dramatic. It was warm, steady, grounding. The kind of touch that told the world, she's not alone. Alana inhaled sharply, because it felt real. Too real. Her ex walked past with a smug smirk, but when he saw her standing with Cal, the expression on his face cracked. His smile stiffened. His fiancée blinked in surprise. And Alana, for the first time in months, didn't feel small. She didn't feel broken. Cal didn't overdo it. He didn't act like they were madly in love. He just stood with her, quietly, respectfully, giving her exactly the amount of comfort she needed. When her ex walked out of sight, Cal lowered his arm. "You don't owe me an explanation," he said gently. "Just hope you're all right." But Alana did owe him something, something she hadn't given anyone in a long time. Trust. She asked if he could stay with her a little longer, just so she didn't spiral back into her thoughts. He nodded without hesitation. They walked through the rodeo grounds together. Cal showed her the horses, told her stories about ranch life, made her laugh with silly little jokes about his stubborn bull named Peanut. And slowly, Alana's breathing returned to normal. Hours passed like minutes. She felt safe. And she had forgotten what that felt like. When the evening came, fireworks lit up the sky above them. Families were cheering, kids ran with glowing sticks, and the sweet smell of kettle corn drifted through the air. Under that sky, Alana confessed what had been weighing on her heart. "I feel silly," she said softly. "Needing a stranger to protect me from my own past." Cal shook his head. Needing help ain't silly. Sometimes kindness comes from the people we least expect. His words hit her like a gentle truth she'd been avoiding. She wasn't weak. She wasn't broken. She was healing. Over the next few weeks, they kept in touch. What started as a pretend moment turned into real conversations, late-night calls, morning texts, visits to his ranch where she learned how to ride a horse for the first time. And Cal learned things about her too, her favorite tea, her childhood dream of becoming a painter, her fear of being unlovable. He never rushed her. Never pressured her. He let her move at her own pace. One evening, as they sat on a wooden fence watching the sunset stretch across the fields, Cal said, "You know, I'm not pretending anymore." Alana's heart fluttered. "Neither am I." But she hesitated, old wounds whispering doubts. "I'm not simple," she warned. "My life is messy. Complicated. Loud." Cal chuckled softly. "Ma'am, I don't want simple. I want real." Something inside her melted. It wasn't a dramatic moment. No orchestras, no fancy dinners, no staged romance. Just two people in the quiet countryside, choosing each other gently. A month later, her ex reached out wanting to talk. He claimed he regretted leaving her. Claimed he missed her. Claimed he had made a mistake. Alana didn't even feel shaken this time. She simply replied, "I'm with someone who treats me with kindness." And that was that. Her heart had finally closed the door on the past. The real turning point came when Cal invited her to a town charity event. She thought she was just there to support him. But at the end of the evening, he took her hand, led her under the string lights, and looked at her with soft, steady warmth. "You asked me to pretend to love you," he said. "But the truth is, I fell for you the moment you trusted me with your pain." Her eyes filled with tears, not of sadness but gratitude. He held her close, the way someone holds something precious. And she realized that kindness isn't always loud or dramatic. Sometimes it's a stranger letting you lean on them. Sometimes it's a hand on your shoulder when your heart is shaking. And sometimes, it turns into love. From that day forward, they built something real, slow, honest, gentle. Not perfect, but beautiful. Because kindness always leaves footprints. And when you follow them, they often lead you exactly where you were meant to be. And so this story ends with a simple truth: we never know whose life we might change with a small act of kindness. It might be a stranger's. It might be our own. So go out into the world today and sprinkle kindness wherever you can. You never know the miracles it could spark in someone's heart, or in yours.